Yo, what's up guys, and welcome back to another video on Gran Turismo 7. Today's lap time challenge is in Daytona, since we are shortly ahead of the 24 hours race end of January. And because of that reason, you can basically choose whatever Group 3 car you like most. We are racing on racing hard tires, and checking the leaderboards, it seems that the current meta cars, let's say, is either going for the Genesis or taking the Dodge Viper or the Ford GT race car. The current world record is set at a 144.1, and it leaves us to beat, at least currently, a 147.2. So let's get right into the guide.
So as usual, getting into your lap, try to carry a high amount of speed out of the bus stop chicane, and after you cross the finish line, go over to the right hand side of the track. Your very first brake marker is then this black sign above the tarmac. Brake hard in a straight line with some slight steering input, and then use trail braking to get some grip of the tires free for rotation, down to first gear, close to the inside, up to second, and then very gently back to the power to avoid power oversteer. Flat out through this small chicane and then over to the left hand side of the track, and the next brake marker you might use this yellow truck next to the track. Again, brake hard in a straight line and then apply some slight steering, opening up the brakes for grip, and then keep it to the inside, upshifting to second, and again very gently back to the power, cause the car is quite nervous if you apply too much power too fast. And the next section, as well as this left-hander, is flat out, so upshifting to fifth, go over to the left-hand side of the track, and then the next brake marker is where the tarmac has this dark zone on the left-hand side. As before, brake hard in a straight line, then apply some steering input, opening up the brakes to get grip for rotation, then let the car roll through the corner, upshifting to second, and gently back to the power to avoid power oversteering again. Then short time flat out and up to fourth gear, the next brake marker is at the end of this concrete zone on the right, or where the grass starts. Brake hard again in a straight line and go down to the very first gear, go over the inside curb on the left, then up to second gear, and now again gently apply the power to avoid power oversteer. Now entering the first part of the oval and the high speed section, it's really important to get that shift points right, at least for the Genesis. So when you enter the end of the RPM bar, upshift. If you over rev the car too much, you will lose time. I've tried that many times. I always lost time if I over rev the car. Then go over to the right hand side of the track, and then again the next brake marker is after the 2 board, this black indication, something, whatever it is, above the track. So brake at that one, hard in a straight line, down to fourth, then turn in, let the car roll over the curb, short brake application again, let the car roll, and now fully back to the power, and try not to go too wide to not invalidate your lap. And I would say this is the most important part of the track. If you lose too much momentum inside the bus stop chicane, you will lose a lot of time on this long oval part until you make it to the finish line. So try to perfectly nail that bus stop chicane and then get your shift points right, accelerate to the finish line, and hopefully get a good time to get yourself to 1 million credits. So let's review the lap once more from chase cam. Getting into your lap, try to carry a high amount of speed out of the bus stop chicane, then over to the right hand side, and above the track there's this black thing, whatever it is, brake hard in a straight line. Apply steering input and open up the brakes to get grip for rotation, up to second, and gently back to the power. Flat out through this small chicane, then over to the left hand side. Use the yellow truck as brake indicator, brake hard again in a straight line. When applying steering input, open up the brakes for rotation, up to second, and back to the power again. Now for the next part, this one can be taken flat out, so through this left-hander, go up to fifth gear, keep it narrow to the inside curb, then over to the left-hand side of the track, and this dark tarmac area on the left is your brake indicator. Brake hard in a straight line again, down to first, open up the brake for rotation, up to second, and gently back to the power. Short power input up to fourth gear, and this concrete zone ends, brake again, down to first, over the inside curb on its left-hander, up to second, gently back to the power again. Now for the oval, take care to get those shift points right. At the end of the RPM bar, shift up. Do not over rev the car, so you will not lose any time. Then once you made it through this oval, go to the right hand side of the track, and then after the 2 board on the right hand side, there's again this black thing above the track. Use this as your brake marker, brake hard again in a straight line, go down to fourth gear, open up the brakes, roll over the inside curb, short brake application again, over to the right, fully back to the power, using all the width of the track, while not abusing the track limits and invalidating your lap. And as mentioned before, this is kind of the most important part of the track, so try to nail this bus chicane right and get momentum out of this one. And now for the rest of the lap again, try to get your shift points right, do not over rev the car, and then just flat out make it to the finish line, hopefully get yourself a gold time and 2 million credits in this week's challenge on Daytona.
And that's already it for this week's lap time challenge in Group 3 vehicles in Daytona. In the end I ended up with a meta car, which was for me the Genesis X Group 3, but I have to admit it's more about using trail braking into the corners to not understeer too much, and using the power gently on the exit to not have power oversteer and simply lose the car. But let me know in the comments how you handled this one and if you struggled, and if this guide helped you out, feel free to share, like and subscribe. We just recently hit the 300 subscribers already, which I'm really thankful for. And yet again, I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one, and bye bye.